Well, hello there, or moin, as we used to say here in Hamburg, but now I am near Hanover, but I think we can still say moin. Hi, I have to check. Have we met in this new location yet? I don't think so. Let me just quickly check. No, we haven't. It's been a while. Hi, my lovely stitchy friends. Welcome to Stitch-Ilonka. My name is Ilonka. Yes, it's spelled with an I, but pronounced with an E. And we are here no longer in Hamburg, but in a small village close to Hanover, so a bit more in the middle of Germany. And I am welcoming you from my brother's childhood bedroom. Yes, it truly is. As I've told you last time, I was in a kind of limbo state that I didn't know if I had to move or not, and it turned out I had to move, and I had to move away from Hamburg to my hometown here in close to Hanover. And I moved back into my childhood home. It's fortunately, it's a big house, of course, as you have here on the countryside. It's a house, and I still have some rooms here for me to occupy. I have my own bathroom and my own kitchen, luckily. And luckily, I'm on very good terms with my father. So we are, kind of in a co-living situation here. And yes, so I haven't been talking to you for a while. Let me just think what I have in store for you today. I have been to a wonderful stitching retreat that one of my mosquitoes organized in Stuttgart. And we visited the Zweigart factory that I have to tell you a bit about. Then I haven't stitched as much as I wanted to. I have been crocheting a lot more. I'm going to tell you why later. And I am going to show you a bit of haul that I have. And yes, and I'm going to provide some timestamps below so that you can jump wherever you want. Now let's dive on in. Okay, so yeah, it took me a while to settle in here, and I have to say I haven't settled in fully yet. I wanted to film a room tour and kind of where everything is neat and tidy and nice, but that won't probably happen for another few weeks. I have been, standing in front of my shelves here and trying to decide where to put what. And then I said, okay, now just put it somewhere and start working, start stitching and crocheting and sewing and everything. And then once you are working, you will kind of know where you reach for something and where you want to put it back to. And so it will all fall into place naturally once I actually start working here. And I realized that I haven't been talking that much English lately, so I bear with me while I search for words. Yeah, so I have been crocheting a lot. I have finally finished my Enamorado shawl that was a crochet along a few weeks back, because I found it much easier to kind of grab one bag and one crochet needle and just, work on that instead of trying to find all the right flosses and needles and everything and try to sit down. I mean, I've been sitting down in my sofa nook for a few months now and have like a motion memory of how to stitch, and now I have to kind of get comfortable with my new position here. I mean, these are first world problems, right? I mean, let me just vent about the water quality here on the countryside is much different than the water quality in Hamburg, and I still haven't found the right shampoo for my hair, so it's so frizzy. Yes, I know. Okay, so I am settling in here. So far I've been crocheting a lot, and last weekend we were in I say we because I had a meeting with my with my stitching community from South Germany here in Germany, and we at first I was like, I might not be able to organize this meeting because, of course, my life upended and I didn't know what to do next. And one of my lovely friends said she wanted to organize the meeting, and she asked Zweigart if we can stitch in their store. They have like a factory outlet store, right, attached to their factory in Sindelfingen. A huge store, a wonderful variety. They also have like printed fabrics and woven fabrics, like tablecloths and curtains, and not curtains, but tablecloths and printed fabrics for quilting, because they also kind of provide quilting workshops there. And we said, right in the, you know, in the room, like the factory outlet store, they prepared 2 tables for us, and we had some water and stuff, and it was just the most amazing experience. I mean, I will probably, that would have probably been the last meeting that I've ever organized, because I don't know how to top that. I don't know what, you know, what to do next, because, you know, like from sitting somewhere in a restaurant to stitching on a creative fair kind of expo, now to stitching at Zweigart. I mean, what else is there to do? So yeah, that might have been probably the no, it hasn't. So anyway, yeah, we were sitting there stitching. All of my stitchy friends brought finishes and whips, and as they were, you know, unpacking them and showing them to the people working there, they were like, oh my god, this all looks so gorgeous, and this is a fabric that you've dyed yourself, and oh my god, and you know, stitching with little beads on top, and stitching with different flosses and everything. I mean, in theory, they know what is stitched on their fabrics, but they haven't really seen it in practice, because obviously, like the design department there, they are designing small things, you know, to put into the pre-cut packaging and stuff, but or in little booklets, but it's not these kind of huge, bigger things that we stitched and that we take like a few weeks to complete. So they were really happy and excited to see all of that. And, you know, everyone from the company, like from different departments, from sales and design and production, and even the CEO, Mr. Georgi, came to really had an in-depth look of it. And they took our Instagram handles and follow us now on Instagram to get more inspiration and stuff. So it was a lovely back and forth. It was not just, yeah, you can sit here and buy a lot of our stuff, but also, wow, it's amazing what you do. And I asked them for a few, you know, kind of scraps of fabric, because next year in April, I want to participate at one of these creative expos here in Hanover again. It's similar to what we had in Berlin. And I want to provide workshops for people, because in Berlin there were a few people asking if they can sit down with us and have a workshop and learn how to cross stitch. And obviously I didn't have any, you know, any material for them to give away, but now I have a huge stack of fabric of different sizes, different colors, different, you know, varieties, from Ada, even weave, linen, everything, so that we can really kind of educate people what is out there, what they can buy, because in Germany we cannot go to, or it's not really that common to go into a store and buy these types of fabrics. So you would find like hoops, these normal kind of wooden hoops, you will find them, you will find needles, and you will find anchor floss, but then you still have to have the fabric, and these stores usually don't sell the fabric. Maybe they have one per min pack of pre-cut 14 count Ada, or you can buy like the kits. But you know, there was this one boy who said, yeah, the kits that you can buy, but they are with fairies and unicorns and teddy bears, and I want to stitch a car or something. So anyway, yeah, they were so gracious and so kind and so, yeah, welcoming to us, and they gave us a huge stack of fabrics that I will not sell them. I will not use them for myself. They are all for workshops. Really, really wonderful experience. And then we had a tour through their production line, and we learned how fabric is woven there with these so-called jacquard machines. And I will insert some pictures and some video footage here, because it was really interesting to kind of see and to realize how, you know, what is all going into, because they are not just, you know, buying threads and then just weaving them, but they're also kind of preparing their own threads, their own thickness of threads, and then weave it together in this type of manner. And what I found really interesting was, I don't know if you've ever woven, for example. So if you take this kind of a normal, you know, weaving loom, and then you might know that over time, when you are just, you know, like pulling to there, turning around, and then pulling back there, then over time it might happen that your fabric, you know, like skews in like this. And to avoid that, these machines, they put in this. Is this the weft, and then this is the weave? No. Let me just quickly check that. Warp and weft. Ketfaden is warp. Okay. So this is the warp and this is the weft, right? So instead of turning around and then bringing the weft back, they kind of lay it in and then cut it off on each side, so that it's really kind of lying there. And this avoids the fabric of you know, getting smaller in the middle. And usually you just cut it off, and then you have this kind of end here. You have these ends that stick out like this from a weft, from a woven cloth. But Zweigart, the company that sells the machines, they do also cut it off here, but then they have like a little, you know, a little knob that pushes the offcut back on itself, and so that it's lying in between here, and it gets woven in as well. So that's why this part of the fabric is thicker than this part. And if you look closely, you can see that it's, you know, like it's the weft gets put in there, cut off, and then the tail is getting kind of bent over in between there. I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, and that's how that's why this is always so neat and tidy on this side. And Mrs. Georgi was so kind and gave everyone this wonderful, I don't know if it's an 18 count or a 16 count. Looks like an 18 count white Aida with silver Lurex in it. So gracious, so nice. And I also bought some of this I also bought this fabric there. It's also a woven fabric, and it looks so southern Germany. And I don't know, I mean, I was thinking of kind of sewing a pillowcase of it. So yeah, but it looked so gorgeous and so neat that I couldn't just leave it there. And I also bought, I'm just throwing it all on the floor here. Oh, speaking of this cut off, we went through the production, and as I said, the cut off, and it was you know, running down on the side into a huge bucket. And I asked the woman who was working there, and I asked her, do you have a pair of scissors? I just want, you know, a tiny bit of cut off of this. I just want to have it as a kind of a memorabilia, you know. And she was like, okay, snip. Here, take it. And she gave me this whole bundle of cut off of this fabric that was just, you know, made this. it is very, very sparkly. It doesn't show on camera, but it's very sparkly. And this is just amazing, you know, for little snippets that you can put on presents, or for the Christmas tree, or if you don't have your Santa beard or something like that. And so I have this huge piece of Zweigart fabric cut off silver glittery fluff. Yeah, and I also bought, they also have, as I said, they also have quilting courses, and I bought some printed photograph fabric that I want to turn into project bags. Oh, and we met House of Stitch and Stash, Rika. She is from near Sindelfingen, near Stuttgart. You know, of course, you know her, House of Stitch and Stash. She is an American living here in Germany with her husband on a military base, and she was in America a few months back when there was one of those huge retreats, and I remember Jen Hicks talking about her because she had one of her like one of her project bags, these project folios. And then she was coming in through the door, and I was like, starstruck. Hi, I'm Ilonka. And she was like, oh yeah, I've heard of you. It was just amazing going through there with her. And she had some, she had a design that she designed herself. She had a design that she designed herself and brought it along. And she was like, yeah, that's the first time that I ever designed something. And that was right at that moment when the CEO stepped up to her and looked over her shoulder, and he was like, you design? That's nice. Here, take my card. Call me. These are the things that happen if you are there at the store and being present. That was just wonderful. And I also bought a piece of fabric, as you do. I mean, currently, as you know, or as you might gather, I had to move. I have to find a new job. I have to have a car. I have to have everything. So I cannot really splurge on everything, on anything. I bought some fabrics also during that fair because I want to make some project bags that I can sell now to make some coin. And so I don't really have a huge haul. But what I found there, let me preface this by something else. So I have a few wonderful international stitchy friends, and one of them is Michal, Star Parade here on YouTube and on Instagram. And he is a wonderful human being and a lovely person, and he knew about my predicament right now, and he's like, yeah, let me just, I just wanted to check in, wanted to see how you're doing and stuff. And and he asked me if I wanted to design something with him, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great, but I'm not really, that creative of a person. I just like, I like butterflies and lighthouses. And a few days later, he came up with a wonderful sampler, it's not really a sampler. It's a, that much I may say. It's a lighthouse motif with some wonderful, wonderful words. And yeah, I cannot show you obviously because I'm stitching the model right now, but I found the perfect fabric for it. As I said, it's a lighthouse motif. So when do you need a lighthouse? In the dark, when it's cloudy. And then I found this piece of fabric. It's a wonderful blue fabric with the same stencil that is used to do the vintage country mocha modeling on the other fabrics, just with blue and dark blue. And this was a limited edition, or either a limited edition or it's not produced anymore. She couldn't tell because they had this one, they only had this one, they only had this one bolt of floss there. And it didn't have a label, so we had to kind of measure and calculate that it's a 25 count even weave. And yeah, it's blue and dark blue, and it looks like waves and clouds, and I could cry. So it's so beautiful. Yeah, and I told them to kind of to produce it again, because now I am showing it in my videos, and they will and obviously you will just bombard them with emails and want this fabric too. So yeah, be on the lookout for the model stitching. I am getting along quite well with that. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do that. Plug. So yeah, we were sitting there, we were stitching away. People had wonderful, wonderful presents. Why is it so hard to remember the word presents? I have a wonderful friend in Switzerland. Oh, by the way, Switzerland. Speaking of Switzerland, Stitch Basel. My dear friends Dawn and Amy, who both have a YouTube channel, I will link them below, and Ina, who doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she has a great Instagram channel. They are organizing Stitch Basel next year in September. And they were talking to the people at Zweigart if they can kind of, you know, support them with fabrics or something else. And that was also a reason why they were here in Germany during that weekend. And so we kind of, sayings from around the world. In Germany we say, we slap two flies with one swat. And I guess in English it's to kill two birds with one stone. Yeah. Is it right? Yeah. So so again, in Germany we say zwei Fliegen mit einer Klappe schlagen. So to swat two flies or to kill two flies with one swat. And I guess in English it's to kill two birds with one stone. What kind of animals do you kill in your country? Please tell me in the comments. So yeah, so they were kind of talking to the Zweigart people, and one of those lovely ladies from Switzerland, they brought along one lovely lady from Switzerland too, and she is Color Fever on Etsy, and she dyes cotton and silk flosses, and she brought some other another skein, or she brought one skein of floss for everyone. And this is the lighting is not that good today, I'm sorry. It's a dark lilac. It's almost like it's an eggplant color, an aubergine color, but it's very, 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 very dark. It looks brownish, but it's also got this wonderful purpley hue on it to it. I love it. I love it. And Lydia gave us some lavender colored linen. Amy brought us some needle minders. Oh, Amy is just a lovely person. Amy J from Amy J's Creations. It was so lovely to finally meet her. And yeah, it was like, she was like, I feel like we're like we've been friends forever and we've never talked to each other. And it's like, yes, it's exactly like that. And we sat there and we had to talk about Endor first. And I don't know, it was just lovely to meet her in person. And we were pestering her, like we were on her. We were like, your German is so good, you have to do German videos too. And she does. So she finally released one of her first German videos lately, and I'm so happy that she did, because listening to her with an American Swiss accent talking German is just absolutely lovely, 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 lovely. And we had someone brought a little needle minder with a lighthouse motif and some stitch markers, and I don't know, it was just, oh, the candle. Do you know these motif little candles? Oh, they were so gorgeous. I cannot burn it. I might just have to look at it for the rest of the year. It was just lovely to be around people again, and to be around so many lovely people again. And it was hard for me because I'm quite emotional these days, and they had to endure a lot of sobbing and, you know, blinking, looking off into the distance, trying to hold back the tears. but they all stuck with me, and they were all so lovely and wonderful, and it gave me a lot of strength and a lot of you know, good vibes to get through the next few weeks, and you know, through Christmas and stuff. So it's going to be a bit of a hard time, but anyway, it was just lovely to meet those people. And then the next day we went on this creative expo fair thingy in Stuttgart. Obviously here in Germany they don't have much of stitching stuff. Actually they didn't have any stitching cloth or anything there, but a lot of wool and fabric and stuff. And I bought some fabric for project bags. Where is it? Oh, I already packed it away. Look at this gorgeous maritime themed, and it's upside down. Look at this maritime themed fabric. It's so gorgeous, and the repeat, I mean, it's such a huge motif. Oh, and it's just gorgeous. So I bought this one and for project bags and stuff. And I bought this one, also with a lot of maritime motifs. And it's upside down again. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? So yeah, and I didn't want to buy a lot of wool or anything because I have a really good wool dealer of my own here, and it was just lovely to, you know, be outside again and be on the lookout for stuff again. And I have to show you these things. Do you know what this is? They are called botties, and it's just, I don't know if you can get it somewhere else. I've only seen, yeah, well, probably. Wait, let me. Originalbotties.com, Ma Botti, Pforzheim, Germany. I don't know if it's just a retailer or if it's a German company. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But they produce these pieces of, it's a shoe sole. These are two. It's a sole, just the bottom of the shoe with some, you know, with the heel, and it's got holes all over the place. And you can just crochet or knit away and knit your own shoe. And they have many different tutorials online, either on YouTube or on their website, so that you can, this is more of a summery thing. It's very lacy, very open, and this is, you know, with front post crochets, very nice. And so this one is knit, I suppose. No, it's also crochet. It's only half double crochets. And you can obviously, you know, switch it out. Either you can stitch the first round with a very strong floss, with very strong floss, so that it's more durable. But you can obviously just, you know, like crochet or knit it with your normal wool, but it's not that durable then. But I am thinking about crocheting these types of, or this type of, and then use it as a shoe here at home, like a house shoe, because I don't have floor heating anymore. Yeah, I am not sure how it will go. We will see. I will keep you informed. And they have it in so many different sizes. See if you can find it internationally. So as I said, I haven't been stitching that much because I really found after moving everything, really, I had to throw everything into moving boxes and then just put it all in the van on my own. And then I had my father here to unpack it with me, but we were, you know, my father he's 75 and he's got kind of issues with walking, and I cannot, you know, chase him up and down the stairs here. So I had to, you know, kind of move the moving boxes upstairs. And I was like, okay, now where does this all go? And of course I have my my stitching stuff more or less organized, and it's all good, but somehow I was like, yeah, it's a lot easier to just grab a ball of yarn and my crochet hook and just crochet away. And then when we were sitting down at the lobby, well, most of us had the same hotel near the trade fair, yeah, near there. And so we had time to stitch in the lobby in the evenings, to sit together and stitch. And that's where I started the lighthouse on this wonderful blue fabric again. And I was like, oh my God, it's the first time after like 4 weeks that I'm actually stitching again. Oh, it's so wonderful. And I didn't remember I didn't realize how much I missed it until I did it again. And so, yeah. I had to start 2 days back on the 24th would have been my grandmother's 110th birthday, and I started the drawn thread chrysanthemum. What a wonderful word, great word, chrysanthemum. It's got a lovely chrysanthemum, obviously, and a lovely bird on it. And I started this on a let me just grab it. It's a Picture This Plus Lugana 32 count, but I suppose it's not a 32 count. It must be a bit tighter than 32. Maybe it was a 32, and then is it that, like, Picture This Plus, that they say it's a 32 count, but it was a 32 count before they dyed it, and then it shrunk a bit? Is that how I can understand it? Because I really think it's less than 32 counts now in the color Sand, and I still have a good big piece of it. That's quite good. And yeah, I started it on this piece of fabric, and it's so tiny. It's so tiny. It's 55 by 55 stitches, and I started with the frame. Obviously, I'm happy that it met up here, because I started here and just went around and it met, but it was 4 stitches, or like 4 threads, like 2 stitches too short. So I had to take 1 row away here and 1 row away here, but it's okay because they had it's enough of a space around it so that it will still fit inside there. I didn't want to frog it. I just you know, I'm just going with it. And it's my first pattern that I am stitching over 2 and over 1. Do you see that? Like the leaves, they are over 2, and these things here, they are over 1. And that's interesting because this is not in Pattern Keeper, and I have it just on, and I don't want to, you know, yesterday evening when I was stitching I didn't have a pen with me, so I was just, you know, looking at it and really concentrating that I am not, you know, that I'm still hitting the right spots. It's interesting, and I'm thinking of my granny right now. And then I also prepared the Christmas stitching that I had shown you before, and I have all the floss for it now. This one, the Christmas Eve by Cottage Garden Samplings. And when I was kitting this up, when you look at the back, you see all those colors here. You know, everything is DMC, wonderful. I just checked it off and ordered what I had to do. And then I realized that these 2 things over here, they are also 2 specialty flosses, like Gentle Art Simply Shaker threads, and I completely missed them, and they are such a huge part because it's the whole red of his cloak, and the green up here, and the green in his back here. This is the biggest part of the whole picture, are these 2 sampler threads. And I had to dig into my stash to find it, to find something equivalent, because I cannot afford it right now to get all the sample, like the fancy flosses for it. But yeah, I have the floss picked out and everything, so I hope that I will be able to start it. I mean, it's the first Advent this Sunday. Last year, my friend Esther, Danish stitcher, and me, we were kind of on a run, and we were starting one new pattern each Advent. So like, as I told you last year, like Advent, the Advent Sundays are kind of a big deal in Germany. Like, you are going out visiting your families and friends and everything, because usually the 24th, like, we are celebrating Christmas at the on the 24th, like on the evening, not on the 25th in the morning, but on the 24th in the evening. And this is usually reserved for your close-knit family, like your mother and father and children. And but during the Advent Sundays, you would go around, visit friends and extended family and stuff. So and then you light a candle. You have these wreaths with 4 candles on them as a decoration. And every Sunday, like the first Advent, you light one color on this wreath, and on the next Sunday, you light the first and the second candle, and so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't think this is a huge thing in America, is it? Like, you're not having these candle wreaths, right? Yeah. So, and also, it's interesting to me. Like, in America, I see that all the time, that you are decorating your tree way ahead of Christmas Eve, like way ahead of the 24th or the 25th. And when I was a kid, I remember that when I went to bed on the 23rd of December, okay, lean back, story time with Ilonka. When I went to bed on the 23rd of December and I came downstairs in the morning of the 24th, usually the door of our living room was closed and the curtains were drawn, so I couldn't peek inside the living room through the windows. And even the keyhole was kind of hung with a cloth so that I could not peek through the keyhole to see inside of the living room. And it was usually, my mom just said, well, Santa Claus is busy decorating the living room for tonight, because tonight we're celebrating. And what I didn't realize was that my parents, after my brother and I went to bed, they were bringing, like, they were setting up the tree and they were decorating the tree with lights and baubles and everything. They were decorating overnight and putting all the presents underneath the tree and everything. And then the whole 24th was just a waiting game for my brother and me. And during, like, at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we would go to church, we would go to mass and have a, you know, meet friends and everyone, like the whole village at church. And then when we went home, my brother and I, we had to go upstairs, wash our hands, change our shoes and, you know, everything. And when we came down, the door to the living room was open and my mom had lit all the candles and the Christmas tree. Hui. And the Christmas tree was lit and everything, and we had something to drink, and then we ate, and then we opened our presents. So yeah, and it was like that up until my brother and I were a lot older. But one year we came downstairs on the 24th in the morning, and I already had heard like the Hoover, like the vacuum cleaner. I already had the vacuum cleaner, and I heard my mom kind of ranting and mumbling under her breath and everything. And I was like, oh my God, what was going on? And the living room door was open and the tree had fallen over and everything was full of tree needles, and because we always have real live trees, you know, and so the tree fell over. Most of the baubles, like the ornaments, were smashed. The whole magic was gone. And ever since that day, we would kind of, you know, bring out the Christmas tree a bit earlier. We would decorate them together and stuff. So yeah, it's not really that usual that you would, you know, set up the tree that much earlier in advance, because we used to have live trees, like real trees. and not fake trees or plastic trees or stuff, because and if you set them up and after like a week they start to lose their needles and everything, and then on the 6th of January you throw it out. So it's only up for like a week or something, or 10 days, 2 weeks tops. So yeah, that is a quick trip down memory lane how my German Christmas is usually celebrated. And I'm very much looking forward to how it might be this year, because it's going to be all different this year. By the way, have you seen Hello from Liz Matthews, her freebie that she sent out a few days earlier? Go on her website and check out if you can still grab it. It's a wonderful holly. Is it a holly? Yes, it is a holly. A little kind of holly leaves and a bow. A lovely quick stitch for a decoration of a postcard or an ornament that you can give away. Check that out. And also, have you seen Jacob Modern Folk Embroidery's new sale for next year? I am so excited. I could cry. You know, when I watched his announcement live the other day. I don't know, was it yesterday or the day before? When he announced or when he showed the design for the first time, and the phrase "you root deep and you reach skywards" is just so calling to me right now, because I am back in my own turf, so to speak. I'm back in my old village. And I'm back with my father and my friends here, and the village is just taking care of me. They've embraced me, they've welcomed me with open arms. And now I can, you know, reach skyward and I can go on with my life, kind of orientating, thinking about what I want to do now, and kind of reinvent myself a bit and reach skyward. So it's like, yeah, Jacob made this design just for me. No, he obviously didn't, but yeah. I am very much looking forward to stitching it. Now it's just the problem of finding the right flosses and the right fabrics for it. Any help? I have been scrolling through Instagram today, searching for the hashtag MFE Sale 2021, because it kind of, like, style-wise, it reminds me a bit of the Fruits of Plenty sale. And I was thinking, and it's also like the Fruits of Plenty, was it only 2 or 3 colors? So I was just scrolling through and seeing the color combinations that people used for that kind of sampler, to get some inspiration for the color choice that I will make for that one. But yeah, I mean, I told my father about that, and he said, well, it's only just 2 colors. And I was like, yeah, but what if I don't like the color anymore in April? You know, it's really, you have to think about that kind of things. Yeah. So check that out, Michael. Jacob's 2023 sale. And also, I think that is it for today. I showed you everything that I had. It was lovely at Zweigart. Stay tuned for the reveal of the model stitching that I'm currently on. And also leave me a nice comment, say hi, say I don't know, Merry Christmas in advance, or just hug me virtually. I need it right now. If you want, you can also buy me a coffee. I have the links all downstairs, and I will hopefully see you again soon, because I am quite sure that now I'm settling in here and I will be able to kind of get into a routine of stitching again and setting up everything and filming on a regular basis again, so that you don't have to wait for me that long ever again, I promise. Have a lovely weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, my friends.